goes and the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor, the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Shit, wrong song. Sorry everybody. That's not the song I was thinking of. That's not what I was trying to play. Sorry everybody.
The people's flag is deepest red. It shrouded off now martyr dead. And ere their limbs grew stiff and cold, their hearts' blood dyed its every fold. That raised the scarlet standard high, within the shade live and die. No cowards flinch and traitors stare, with hate the red flag flying here. Look round the French man.
Well, everybody, this was supposed to be a night of traumatic horror and potential liver failure. But instead, it is an evening of triumph and exhilaration, which, I gotta say, did not see coming at all. So, I'm pretty drunk, but I'm happy, which I was not expecting. I'm actually pretty stunned about it, frankly. Fuck, man, I don't even know what to say. It doesn't matter what happens at this point. I'm not even really following the returns really that hard, because what we have for the first time since the sort of the darkness, you know, since the neoliberal consensus cracked and revealed this oozing, festering muck of ultra-reaction and nationalism, is that the theory we've all been operating under and claiming and yelling into the ether and into the sky for the last year plus, that there is a constituency for bold, meaningful solidarity, social democracy, mutual aid. It's been proven to be true, regardless of what happens. If the Conservatives are able to cobble together some shitty coalition majority or not, we have some goddamn fucking proof. Corbyn's not going anywhere. The fucking Scots are probably going to come back after they fucking purge the shit out of the terrible Scottish Labour Party. And it's possible, because the boy did it. The boy did it. That's the thing that's so fucked up, is that Corbyn seems to be unique among Western politicians. Just a fucking decent human being, in a way that just doesn't seem like it's compatible with electoral success, given the way that we imagined it. And now we've seen that it can be. I don't know if I want to say miraculous, because, I mean, it's been what we've been saying. Like, we've all said this, we've all claimed this emphatically, this is what would happen. But, of course, we know that things don't work that simply. We know that there are all these tangled miasmas of savage tribalism that overcome any kind of attempt to create class consciousness. We know that those things have to be forced against, or have to be fought against, and that basic atavism is always there, reptilian, festering, and in every way encouraged by the grasping nightmare that is like capitalist existence. But now we've fucking seen that you could break through that, even in a dull, dismal, sad, grasping country like England or the UK, a place filled with just people who've lost hope, a place where the future seems to be not a thing, like not a possibility. There's no future in England. I've lived there for about 6 months, and that's certainly how it felt to me. It felt like a place where there is no future. And now, here's a future. We've broken through the fucking miasma. We've broken through the fog. We've broken through the ideological befuddlements And now we have proof that something else can exist. I mean, it's only the beginning, and it doesn't mean anything if we don't follow up on it. And obviously, electoralism is a limited strain of activism, and it's not the end-all and the be-all of anything. But my God, it is an important place of struggle. And now we have the proof of fucking concept. We have the proof of fucking concept that this can be done. We can do it. And that's more than I thought was possible. It's one of those things where you can have a theoretical idea and you can know in a perfect vacuum we can make this happen, but there's so many externalities and fucking just things pushing through to make it difficult to do it. These headwinds. And that those are real things, and you can't just dismiss them because they're not because they're not material. I mean, the world is not material, as much as we want it to be. It's a bunch of other things. It's phantoms and nightmares that rule our sight and our sound and our dreams. And the hope, the theory was that you could cut through all that. And now we know it's possible to do it. You can do it. You can do it. We can do it. The boy about to do it. The boy about to do it. I remember when they elected Corbyn, and it was a joke. And even, serious leftists in England made points to point out, well, he's a good man, but he's not really he's not an operator, he's not savvy. He doesn't have the kind of he can't be the guy on House of Cards doing all of the machinations. I remember when we talked about this last year on Chapo, and we joked about how all of these dipshit Blairite libs in Labour tried to go around his back and do all these machinations, and because he was popular with the rank and file, it didn't matter. And we got emails from people who claim to be socialists in England saying, look, I like the man. He's a wonderful man, but he's just not a politician. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have whatever Machiavellian mindset is required to succeed in the cutthroat world of Western politics. And, motherfucker, maybe you don't need that. Maybe you don't need to be Francis Underwood or Francis Urquhart or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe you need an idea. Maybe you need an idea and the ability to fucking transmit it to people in a way that makes them think that you're not full of shit, like every other politician they've ever seen in their life. Maybe. But of course, nothing might happen out of this. This could be a complete false start. This could be a false dawn. This could be an Indian summer. Absolutely could be. We don't know. But it's a proof of concept. It's a fucking proof of concept. We're not fucking crazy. We're not pulling shit out of our ass to try to avoid the realities of racism or whatever. We're not pinning our hopes on a failed electoralism when we should be basically building bunkers to survive the coming Armageddon. We can grab these fucking reins. We can do it. We can fucking do it. And it's up to us to build on it. It's up to us to fucking build on it. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't care what happens now. I don't care. I mean, the conservatives can form some sort of shambolic Frankenstein government with fucking the Ulster Party of tag murder or whatever the fuck they have to do. That's fine. That's fine. I don't care. These motherfuckers called this election because they thought they had Labour doomed. They thought they could get some sort of unbeatable 100-seat majority. And now, if they hold on, it will be in a Frankensteinian coalition even more perilous than the one that they got in 2010. And the thing that's stopping Labour from getting a majority, which was the SNP claiming power in Scotland, I believe that's a temporary thing. That is the result of the fact that in 2015, the Labour Party had basically signed on to austerity, and the SNP filled the void. They did the Corbynite thing. They were the anti-austerity party, and so they swept all those seats in left-wing Scotland, as you would expect. And it's going to take a little while for people to kind of sink in that that's not the case anymore, especially since Scottish Labour Party is garbage. But you got to believe, man, that this is going to help them clean house. This is going to help them purge those motherfuckers. So, yeah, let's see if there's another election. There's probably going to have to be one soon. If they cobble together some bullshit slight majority, they're going to have another election shortly. And what do we see? I mean, if those Scottish seats turn, if people realize that Labour is really what they've been looking for, and the SNP was just basically being opportunistic, who knows, man? Who fucking knows? We live in strange and horrifying times, but also times of hope. I did not expect this to be a happy Periscope, fam. I expected this to be another exercise in melodramatic melancholy. And I'm glad it isn't, because that gets fucking old. The boy about to do it, fam. The boy about to do it. Without an ounce of calculation or triangulation, without any sort of clever fucking accommodation to conventional wisdom, the motherfucker who is pro-IRA and is pro-Palestinian unapologetically, the guy who responded to a terrorist attack by pointing to the reality of foreign policy blowback instead of waving the bloody shirt, fucking did it. Man, this is funny. I'm not like I'm getting these responses in spurts. I think it's because I've got the more people on this Periscope than I ever had before. So like it's delayed. So I'm getting like everybody at once. This is way more people than I've ever had on one before. I guess people like positivity. Who'd have thunk it? Nobody wants to sit there and listen to a drunk depressive yell in their ear about how they're all going to die screaming. It is the Mountain Goats. This is a song that John Darnielle recorded in solidarity with the union protesters in Wisconsin in 2010, which, you know, obviously is a melancholy thing. But you know what? Tonight, it sounds fucking good to me. It sounds like a way forward to me. The absolute boy. He's the boy, folks. He's the absolute boy. It's a thing. It's a way better version of the red flag, by the way. The fact that the red flag is to the tune of Oh Christmas Tree is depressing. This is way better. This is way better. How is this real? How is this real? The contours, the outlines, you can see it on the horizon. You can see it. You can look through the crack in the doorway and the light is shining through. And you don't know what's there. You just know that there's a source of light that you can't see. And you can move towards it. And what it's going to lay bare is something that you can't even conceive of. But it's also something that is beyond your imagining in its wonder. Oh my God. The absolute boy, folks. He's the absolute boy. The absolute boy. See, I was indulging in all of that before the election, and I was like cultivating, just because you need something, you need a narrative, but god damn it, did it feel hopeless. It felt so fucking hopeless. And it felt like irony. It felt like doing, you know what it felt like? It felt like it was doing preemptive irony. Like by rooting him on and by doing memes about Jez and Corbyn, I was basically doing irony beforehand. It's like, oh, we know he's going to get crushed. We know this is a noble failure, like all of the other fucking efforts. But it turns out, no, there was no irony to be had. There's just, when the fucking Tories get in power for 5 years and decide, oh, nobody really cares about having a working healthcare system or basic human rights or education. People are like, wait a minute, no, thank you. That's the thing, like, talking about American Corbyn, there really is no American comparison. He is so far to that's what makes it so giddyingly amazing, is that Corbyn, Britain is relatively similar to us. They had a similar neoliberal turn in the 80s. They start at sort of more of a left-wing baseline because of, the post-war labor governments that created the NHS and stuff, but it's a similar sort of culture, and Corbyn is far to the left of any American politician of note. I'd be happy to hear anybody compare anybody in America who can compare to Corbyn on the left in terms of domestic issues or in foreign policy critique. There's no one. He's an international social democrat. I mean, yeah, that's the word for it. And obviously social democracy is insufficient. But I would argue that it is a necessary precondition. One would hope that the lesson of the 20th century, which is that you cannot make deals with capital, that they will consume you when the time comes. As soon as they can no longer afford to spread largesse to the working class, they will take it back as soon as the profit margins begin to decline. I think that lesson, hopefully, will mean that electoral socialism will, by its very nature, move past social democracy very quickly, because we all know that it is insufficient to the task. Social democracy out the window. It's no good. It won't work. I'm not a fucking squish. You can fuck off. But that is we're so far from where we need to be that you need stages. I mean, I don't want to be fucking Edward Bernstein over here or fucking the Mensheviks in 1917, but until we see some sort of real collapse that allows for, revolutionary change, if we're still in an electoral framework, it requires a social democratic stage. And doing that, getting the goods for people, is what is the necessary precondition for the mobilization of masses that will move to the next stage. People want to talk about Syriza. Syriza is a peripheral country. What we're talking about is the fucking core capitalist nations. And they are the ones who pull the strings. God, I loved Syriza is depressing, but people who want to hurl calumny at Cyprus and the Syriza people, they were captives because they don't have the leverage, because they are a peripheral nation in the capitalist ecosystem. The change, contra the fucking third world Maoists, has to start where capitalists concentrated. Yeah, exactly. Syriza had no way out. But in the countries that are the home to reserve currencies and banking systems, changes there will radiate outward, and there's nobody else who can rein you in once you've done that. I don't care how it's pronounced. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck everyone who wants to fucking step to me. Things rule right now. Oh. Socialism is back, baby. It's good again. Wolf howl. Woo woo! Gin's good. Fuck you. It's the best alcohol. I can't handle any other alcohol without a bunch of sugar in it. I'm trying to be less fat. The only alcohol I can take with, like, seltzer or other low-calorie mixers is gin, so fuck off. And it's British. It's fucking British. I didn't think it would happen, guys. That's the real thing. I didn't think it would happen. I saw the good polls, and I wanted to do memes, and I wanted to share in sort of everyone's, like I said, everybody's preemptive irony. But I thought at the end of the day, it's just going to be the same old nightmare that the fucking penny-pinching, small-hearted crones of Middle England would assert their domination once again, and it didn't fucking happen. Oh, Theresa May will never be seen again in public. She will never be seen in public after tonight. She's done. No matter what happens, even if the fucking Conservatives can cobble together a government, she is done for. She is persona non gratin for all of time. She will never be seen again. You won't even know what she looks like in a few years. Oh my God. The absolute boy, folks. He's the absolute boy. Nick Clegg got eaten. He got as they said on The Thick of It. There is no the one I always remember from The Thick of It is when Malcolm Tucker called the Conservatives chinless horsefuckers, and nobody fits, other than David Cameron, nobody fits that definition better than Nick Clegg. That chinless horsefucker, and he is done. Yeah, that's right. I forgot to do it. I'm going to do Great Leap Forward. I'm going to do his version of the Internationale first, and then I'm going to do the Red Flag, or Great Leap Forward. You know what? Maybe we don't live in geo-hell. Who would have thunk it? I thought we lived in geo-hell, but maybe we don't. Boris Johnson, actually, that would be amazing. And it might very well happen. In this environment, if the Tories hold on by the fucking skin of their nails, and Boris fucking Johnson is MP negotiating Brexit, being an absolute twat, watch all of Scotland go back to Labour the next time they have an election, which might be within 6 months. Well, yeah, of course we live on a dying planet, but, we're all playing our parts in this fucking thing. So are you. You're posting. If you're not digging, like, you can talk about the dying planet, and I've talked about it plenty, but if you're not fucking digging your goddamn backyard apocalypse bunker, then you're really just, as I have done in the past, indulging in sort of an aesthetic melancholy. I guess you guys are on the back load. I can't get anything. Here we go. God, I know it's not going to happen, but I still have my heart set on the abstentionist Sinn Féin strutting in the Westminster and taking their seats. They won't do it, though. Although at this point, come on. You want the fucking referendum. Why don't you, negotiate for it? It's like, hey, we'll join your government and let us fucking vote to reunite Ireland. It's not like Corbyn would have to, compromise on his beliefs. He's on record as saying he'd be in favor of a fucking referendum to unite Ireland. I mean, it's not like this is fucking, Ed Miliband or one of these twats. This is a guy who genuinely has... I mean, that's the thing, is they've been banging this asshole They've been banging him out for the entire election for his sympathy for the IRA, and now we find out that the special branch, the fucking British FBI, has been investigating him since the fucking 80s. Cash in those fucking chips, man. Well, yes, the idea they might throw Blair in jail would rule. God, he must be so bummed. Can you imagine what that piece of shit Blair is feeling? Can you imagine what he's feeling like that? Oh my God, the very idea. Well, yeah, obviously Bernie would have won, but like, it's beyond. I mean, come on. Come on. This is not a question that anyone can ask if they're being serious. No, I think it's pretty clear. Wait a minute. What is somebody asked me something? I forgot what it was. Whatever somebody asked, I forgot. I'm drunk. I'm distracted. What was somebody? Oh, right, Bernie. Bernie would have won like 350. He would have won 400 electoral votes, something like that. It would have been he would have won every state Obama won, except Indiana and North Carolina. It would have been a destruction. I'm taking requests if anybody has any other good, sentimental. I'm going to play the John Vanderslice song I printed earlier, Pale Horse. Okay, Geohell's a funny name for a book. I'm sorry. I haven't read it, but it's a funny name for a book. I haven't read it. I don't know if it's any good, but Geohell is a funny name for a book, and I'm making fun of it because it's a funny name for a book. I'll admit it. Street Fighting Man's a good one about Tariq. No, you know what? Climate change might not kill us. Like, it's sad to say geoengineering because that's such a Hail Mary, but there are a lot of things that could help. I've read once that if we painted every surface in the United States, like rooftops and streets, white, it would reduce global temperatures by an entire degree. They just put a carbon scrubber online in Switzerland that might genuinely be able to pull carbon out of the atmosphere. It's possible, and it's that's all you can take. Like I said, if you're not being a prepper, your global warming doom shit is performative. I'm saying it right now, including my own. I've done it a ton. But if you're not if you haven't cut bait with society and bought guns and bought a property in the woods, preferably north of the snow line, then you're full of shit. As I'm full of shit. We're all full of shit. Go over calls for elections. I don't know what that means. The absolute boy, folks. He's the absolute boy. He's the absolute boy. Dirty Old Town's a great song. Well, the Pogues are great in general. They don't really have any good political songs I don't know of. If anybody knows a good political Pogue song, I would play it, but I don't know of any. Now, I don't really, I'll admit it, I don't actually like The Boys Are Back in Town. I'm going to admit it. It's a great tune. I know everyone loves it, but it kind of bothers me. I don't like the weird staccato rhythm of it. I'll admit it. It's like Ain't Seen Nothing. Realize that the SNP is not a viable vehicle for left-wing aspirations. Now that Corbyn's PM or leader, but I'll give him credit. It's okay. All right, I'm doing Vanderslice, and then I'll do Ain't Seen Nothing. Or no, not Ain't Seen Nothing. I'm sorry. I'll do Vanderslice, and then I'll do Body of an American, which is a great song. I love that song. I might also do, I don't know if anybody knows this, but there's a song called Communist Love Song by Calexico that I really like. I think I'll play that later. So, there is a Chapo Discord. I've lurked on it a few times. The Absolute Boys are back in town. I didn't think of that before. I don't know why. Might be because I'm drunk. I don't know. The Absolute Boys are back in town, folks. It's a fact of life. We live in a world of infinite possibilities. Just because what we end up with is always a nightmare, but it's not always the case. Well, the reason he did it is because he's an absolute cunt and a proper legend, mate. That's why. That's why he did it, because he's an absolute cunt and a proper fucking legend. Let's all tip one to the absolute motherfucking boy. I cannot tell you guys what it made me feel to see Corbyn and Steve Coogan in front of thousands of people quoting that fucking Shelley song, Rise Like Lions, after slumber in unvanquished numbers. Shake your chains away like dew that were placed and sleep on you. They are many. They are few. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. You are many. They are few. It's a language that American politics has not had for, honestly, since the fucking New Deal. I mean, even the Great Society stuff was really not sold in the context of class consciousness. I'm drinking Hendrix. It's good stuff. Class consciousness has been basically verboten since the end of World War II, essentially, because it was so associated with communism. And the Red Scare basically got rid of it. Left parties throughout, they just stopped talking about it. They started talking about shit like middle class lifestyle and like it just they turned working class consciousness and self interest into this fucking just a squalid bourgeois scramble for TVs and fucking allotments and backyard pools. But to see that was the thing that really put my fucking hair on end, was watching this and seeing people, like I'm saying, talking in terms of masses, in terms of class consciousness. We are many and ye are few. Fruit of their labor. Fruit of their fucking labor. We are many. They are few. And that's why we have such a daunting and horrifying, of course he calls Phil Greaves. Phil Greaves keeps him honest. Phil Greaves is like the guy on his shoulder keeping him on the straight and narrow. That's Jen, I've told you. We are many, they are few. That is the central and essential reality. The thing that Marx said was going to inevitably lead to working class triumph. Just the simple arithmetic of it. And Gramsci and others have pointed out in the 20th century how the development of mass culture created mechanisms that basically blunted that truth and dissipated it and made it less salient. And it's basically been dissipating for a solid century. Since World War I, would argue, in the non-communist world. And now it's coming fucking back. It's coming back. Okay, all right, Body of American. Coming right up. You know, it's funny, speaking of the Pogues, I read an interview one time with Mark E. Smith and Shane McGowan. And Smith was slagging off, this was in like 1981 or something, shortly after Thatcher took power. And Smith was slagging off socialism as bullshit. And McGowan acknowledged there were problems with things like council housing or the NHS, but he said, "What's the alternative?" And it just hit me like a thunderbolt because that became the mantra of neoliberalism, is that it's the only way of living. But it broke that only. But neoliberalism broke through a social democratic consensus that had persisted for a generation, and it hardened to the point where people like McGowan were able to say, "This is all we like. What you're going to privatize everything? That's not a possibility." And now we live in a world where the alternative is unthinkable, but maybe it isn't unthinkable. Maybe it isn't unthinkable. I heard McGowan has new teeth now. That's good. I will do Guns of Brixton. I don't know. I'm going to do Working for a Crackdown, I think. But I might also do Guns of Brixton. I'll do a couple of Clash songs. Spanish Bombs is good. I might do that one. That's a good one. Radiohead's playing Jerusalem. Fuck them. Didn't I say Clampdown? If I didn't, I know it's Clampdown even if I did. Fuck off. Well, yeah, socialism as accommodation with capitalism is a disaster because it wasn't really socialism. Because the whole thing went to hell as soon as the Red Army was turned in front of Poland in 1920 or whatever it was, 21. That was when the Spartacists were put down. Because the Bolshevik Revolution was premised on world revolution. And then when that didn't happen, it turned into a fortress nightmare. And then you had two things. You had the nightmarish bureaucratic state socialism of the communist bloc, and then you had the accommodation social, the alienated social democracy in capitalist Europe, where basically at the point of a gun and at the threat of communism, they accommodated to socialism as much as they needed to, and created this hybrid beast that was neither, it was fish nor fowl, and it didn't give anybody anything, and all it did was create a sense of alienation and failure that was then transmitted onto the idea of socialism. Well, I mean, Marx was basically right. But see, here's the thing, is that the Marxist concept, basically, the Marxist teleology that Marx put out, forgetting what the parties later put together, after he died, when they were trying to justify their own rule, his vision of it was basically that all of the death and horror are on capitalism, right? Because the death and horror, the real horror, the real bloodshed, the real nightmare death associated with communism, it's not the purges, because a lot of people died in the purges, obviously in Russia and Cultural Revolution. But the real death toll, the real fat stacks of corpses that are what our dipshit liberals and conservatives point to show how awful communism is. They didn't die for some sort of, because they failed to please this totalitarian state. They died because they were peasants in a country that was industrializing. And the thing is that killed people in the millions everywhere. The industrialization of the United States killed millions of Native Americans. The industrialization of South America killed millions of Native South Americans. The industrialization of Europe killed millions of slaves and millions of people in colonial holdings. Late Victorian Holocaust by Mike Davis. Take a look at the millions of bodies that were stacked up in the late 19th century in India by the Raj. Even as late as the fucking 40s. Churchill, the beloved anti-Nazi, the guy who fought against the barbarian hordes of Hitler, he presided over 3 million deaths in a Bengal famine during World War II and joked about it to his cabinet. He complained that he only wished that Gandhi had been one of the people to die. And those bodies, all of that death, the end result of it was to primitively accumulate and create the massive capital stocks that created industrial civilization. And Marx's idea was, well, capitalism basically does all the blood shit, does all the dirt, gets all the blood on its shirt, gets all the blood on its hands, and then socialism comes, takes the fucking reins, and then is able to rule justly and without bloodshed. But because basically what happened is that what Marx was not able to anticipate, and what Gramsci speaks of, is that as a industrial society becomes more complicated, more varied types of employment, and creating mass culture, its defense mechanisms increase, and the sort of inexorable march towards class consciousness and then class rule that Marx perceived of is basically interrupted. And that's why, like, he would have predicted social revolution in a place like the UK or in Germany, and it happened in places like Russia and China because they were less developed. Because they had a very weak bourgeois, a very small middle class, a very weak public culture. Because those are the things that create a feedback loop from the superstructure to structure to dissipate working class militancy. And that's what did it in the West. But because it was so non-existent, you had masses of landless and agitated peasantry. They became the fuel for revolution in these countries. And then what they did is they industrialized, just like their capitalist counterparts did. But they did it on a much smaller time frame, a much shorter time frame, and in the context of communism. And so all those bodies, Black Book of Communism, that attributes, look at all these people killed by communism. What they were really killed by was industrialization. Because industrialization is a murder factory. Because it takes the labor of peasantry and converts it into food and sustenance for a small working class and bourgeois and management class in urban areas. And you can't do that without killing a fuck ton of those people in the hinterlands who used to eat that food. And now they're sending it to the cities. And now they're dying. And they died in India. They died in the United States. They died in South America. They died in Africa. But they died over centuries and under the auspices of imperialism. And so their deaths are not put at the feet of capitalism, the way that the deaths in Russia and in China are to communism. But the real thing that killed them both was industrialization. There's a stage, and the stage is we basically let the capitalists kill all of these fucking peasants while they industrialize. But I think guys like Lenin were perceptive and correct in saying, well, that's not an option. Because that's the real thing, is that people say, well, they shouldn't have taken power, they blah, blah, blah. In 1917, if the Bolsheviks had not taken power, there would have been some sort of reactionary dictatorship. And it would have led to a mass bloodletting. And Trotsky said fascism would be associated with Russia and not Italy if the Bolsheviks had failed. And I think he's 100% correct on that. I mean, during the Russian Civil War, 100,000 plus Jews were pogromed by the white armies. Probably would have been 10 times that if they had taken the whole country and pacified it and driven out the Reds. And then industrialization would have happened anyway. And you would have either had similar death numbers that you saw in Stalin's Russia, or a non-industrialized country with vast, massive, immiserated peasantry like you see in India. Because industrializing is a blood monstrous game. And that's what Marx really perceived better than anybody, is that this is, what did he say? He said, only when socialism will you have a society where people are not, where the rulers are not sitting on the bones of the dead and drinking out of the skulls of the slain. I think that's would have been it. Okay, anybody more? Anybody got another music rec? I'm celebrating here. I'm trying to do good songs. Anybody got a rec? Spanish Bombs. I'll probably do a couple of Clash songs here. I'll do Guns at Brixton next. Fuck off with the ads. Yes. All right, I'm not a full-on anti-anarchist. I'm not like a ML motherfucker who says anarchism is liberalism. I mean, you can be drunk enough, I might say anarchism is liberalism. I think that I'm with Murray Bookchin in that any worthwhile socialist project is going to be some sort of synthesis of the best ideas of traditional Marxism and anarchism. I feel like that's one of those theoretical points that needs to be moved towards, but that at the moment I think everyone should be on the same page. Here's to Jez, the bloody legend. If you think Jez is too right-wing, I probably agree in some sort of ideal sense. But in the year of our Lord 2017, in the late capitalist, neoliberal hell we live in, he is the closest thing. He is honestly, in the Western world, the closest thing to a genuine alternative that I can think of. He is exactly a step in the right direction. The idea that you can skip steps is the thing that infuriates me. Every step has to be taken, and he is a huge step forward, a great leap forward, as it were. A step in the left direction, absolutely. I'm looking up the news here. I've been yelling at you guys so much, I haven't seen what the new news is. Oh, God, I would love to hang out with Corbin. I mean, obviously, I would feel weird eating meat in front of him, but I'd hang out with him. Paul Joseph Watson is adding another couple of layers of 2x4s to the windows that he's got boarded up. The absolute boy. Identity politics is one of those things that I believe Amber once said on the show is necessary but not sufficient. I think the consciousness of oppression along identity access is important. I just think that it becomes commodified, basically, and weaponized against solidarity. And that's bad. So it's not something to be warred against in all cases. It's a thing to be synthesized into a greater critique of capital and critique of oppression. Amber's not coming on Twitter, sorry. Yeah, Amber's thing on the Baffler is great. I'd like to talk with her about it a little bit, just to talk about how, there's a greater and greater percentage of people who don't have a workplace and how that fits into it. But I think that, in general, her call to focus on the real centers of people's, meaningful work lives and where there's leverage to change things is important. We will probably do more for Us Christians when I move to New York. She's on Instagram. You want to see Amber? She's on Instagram. You can watch. You can go there. Geocities. Can you fucking believe he said Geocities? Unbelievable. I'm the only guy who never mispronounces anything. Although apparently somebody said that I mispronounced hegemony. How the fuck else are you supposed to say hegemony? Hegemony is, I know, not right. So it's hegemony, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure it's hegemony, which is the only way I've ever said it. So thank you very much to not fucking gaslight me, whoever said it was wrong. This song is going out to Jerry Adams. I just want to let him know, I know that you guys hold Westminster abstentionism as a key value of the Sinn Féin, but just think about it. Do you really want the scumbag, unionist pieces of shit, the Paisleyite cocksuckers of the DUP to be forming a majority government in Westminster and to hold the leverage over whatever fucking six-toed scumbag they replace Theresa May with? So think about this song and think about the way that it should inspire you to maybe consider sending your boys to Westminster. It's not hegemony. Fuck you. It's hegemony. Fuck you. I don't accept that. I've never heard hegemony. I don't believe it's hegemony. It's fucking hegemony, and you can fuck off. Hung James? Fuck you, you people are gaslighting me. Joan Walsh is losing her shit. Oh, shoot, come on. Bernie would have won, lady. Just accept it. Why do you want to live in an insane world where, what, Hillary was defeated by Russian hackers? And, what, Joe Scarborough? Hegemony. That's what I say. Fuck you. I say hegemony. I say hegemony. That's what I said. Fuck off. Come on, man. You don't have the fucking, those fucking cunts. Hegemony? Oh. Hegemony. No. Well, that's because I'm drunk. I mean hegemony. Obviously, there's an M. I know it's an M. It's hegemony. Fuck off. Fuck off. I'm going to play this song. It's not an Irish Rebel song exactly, but it's Irish Rebel adjacent.
A hungry feeling came o'er me stealing, and the mice were
squealing in my prison cell, and the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal.
to begin the morning.
Come on, Jerry. Pick up the phone. Chitness. Chittiness. Fuck you, chittiness. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the bank. Well, how do you pronounce it, motherfucker? Of the Royal Canal.
The lags were sleeping.
I will never say up dog.
Gussie was creeping as I lay.
Chitinous? Chitinous. Fuck you. It's chitinous, and I'm always going to call it that. I'm not. It's chitinous. You can fuck off. Never gonna. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care about your facts. Chitinous. The banks of the Royal Canal. The song was written by Brendan Behan's brother. Say that 3 times fast.
There's 75 women,
And I wish I would dwell and the old triangle. When jingle, jangle, all along the banks of the Royal Canal, all along the banks of the Royal Canal. Alright, I'll play, I'm going to do All You Fascists Bound to Lose. It's a good one. Because what is this if not proof that that is a strong thesis? That, because did you guys see how UKIP went? How UKIP collapsed? But it wasn't just people going to fucking Labour or the Conservative. That a lot of these erstwhile shitheads were able to look past their racism to vote for solidarity. Nazi punks funk off. Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. That's a good one. I honestly don't care. People are like fretting about if the fucking pieces of shit are gonna do it, but I don't care. God damn it, Jerry Adams, you cocksucker. They're gonna have 10 fucking seats. Yeah, I saw the Shapiro tweet. That's hilarious.
There are a million ways to learn guitar on.
Has Sargon of God had anything to say? Is there anything to say about this momentous election? Besides being bummed that Oswald Mosley isn't on the fucking ballot? Labor. I don't think Labor is going to get the government. There's too many fucking regional parties. SNP is still stealing votes amongst leftists in Scotland. I think it's going to be a narrow Tory government that I don't think will last. I think that's what matters. Is that I don't think it's going to be durable. I think there's going to be another election within a year, and I think that by then. That the SNP mirage in Scotland is going to be over and people are going to go back to Labour. And if that happens, then motherfucker, get ready for the absolute boy being Prime Minister. Well, and none of us here, and yet executed. I'll come out, your black and tans, come out and fight you like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Well, the IRA made you run like hell away. Free enterprise is not a thing. Free enterprise is what Keynes calls the animal spirit translated into capitalist context. Free enterprise is the basic human desire to express oneself. And we have channeled it into entrepreneurship and the making of money because that's the society we have. But I think that the idea that that is some sort of immutable thing, I think that when you want to talk about human nature, I think that that's a human nature, the desire to create and express oneself is a human nature. But the idea of defining it by monetary value is a artifact of an economic structure and can change. Join Westminster. Come on, guys. Just do it. You don't think Corbyn would give you a fucking referendum? If you guys abstain and let Boris Johnson be PM, he's not going to give you a fucking referendum. Corbyn might give you a referendum. He believes in it. He's said explicitly in the past. He almost didn't even win because of his support for you guys. He had fucking assholes running around in blue rosettes talking about how horribly unpatriotic he was in the 80s because of his sympathy for the IRA. Give him a fucking chance, you assholes. But it's easy for me to say I'm not from Northern Ireland. I am moving to New York. Oh, yes. I think I'm pretty much in agreement with Marx on Max Stirner. Anybody have another one? What do we got? I need another like explicitly political song here. I'm getting annoyed at the feigners for their asshole-ish myopia, so I need something not Irish. You know what I'm going to do? This is a good one. You guys are going to like this. I'm pretty sure the people who recognize this song are going to be happy that I'm playing it. Let's see who's the first person to recognize this song.
I saw a newspaper from the political campaign. A woman was kissing a child who was obviously in pain. She spills with compassion. There's that young face in her hand she grips. Can you imagine all?
Nobody knows what this song is?
And avarice coming down.
No, nobody knows this song. I guess you're all kids.
Well, I hope I
fucking
don't
children.
die too soon. I pray
It's not Springsteen.
Lord, my soul to save.
Hegemony, alright?
Yes,
Fuck
I'll
off.
be a good boy.
Elvis Costello, correct, but what song is it?
Trying so hard to behave. Because
Yes, Tramp the Dirt Down. It's about Thatcher, but we can all pretend that it's about Theresa May. Because she is fucking done for. She is finished. Hegemony is what I say. That's what I say. Fuck off. I'm just getting gaslit all the time. My pronunciation of hegemony.
Margaret was her manner. The future looked as bright and as clear as the black tower Diana.
I don't think the boy's going to be the PM, but frankly, I don't know if I want the boy to be the PM. You know? You really want the boy to be the PM when his main thing is going to be presiding over this awful fucking Brexit? I don't know.
She held that lovely face in her hands. All she thought of was betrayal. And now the cynical hearts say that it all ends the
It's amazing. So Joan Walsh is complaining, oh, you say Bernie would have won, but you know, he was never vetted. The fact that he was part of the Socialist Workers' Party was never revealed. Like, Jeremy fucking Corbyn was basically on the same dais with Sinn Féin guys and IRA guys and Hamas and Hezbollah, and it didn't fucking matter. The idea that would matter, nobody even knows what the fucking Socialist Workers' Party is. Get sorted. Get sorted, you motherfucking wet, delusional shithead. I put my hand away from the mic. I'm sorry. Anybody have another song rolling here? Chapo will be on the West Coast. No question. There will be a West Coast Chapo tour this fall, hopefully.
Story.
We'll probably come to Texas. We'll probably come everywhere. We're hoping for a tour in the fall and spring. We're hoping to do a whole deal. They didn't vote Tory. Basically, they had been Labor voters, and then because SNP was the only anti-austerity option in 2015, they voted SNP, and now they got split between those, which allowed the Tories to win, even though a combined Labor SNP vote was bigger. And I don't think that's going to last. I think Corbyn stays leader and keeps his message. The next time they get a chance, I think SNP is going to collapse. And especially if he fucking gets rid of the neoliberal Blairite shitheads running Scottish Labour, that they will take those seats back. Hegemony. Isn't it an M? It's an M. It's an M. It's hegemony. Fuck off. We'll come everywhere, buddies. We'll come everywhere. We will come everywhere. Don't worry. The absolute boy. The absolute motherfucking boy. Anybody have any questions? They can ask me. I'm excited. I'm reposing. I'm in repose. So anybody has any questions, they can ask me. I played the International earlier. The English version.
Just taking out the newspapers.
Man, young people might change shit, man. I mean, it was theoretical before tonight, but now I think it might actually happen. Holy shit. Holy shit. I don't know enough about weed strains to know it's a good one. I just know that I like weed when they give it, because I never get it, because I don't buy it, because I don't know anyone. So I like it when anyone else has it. I don't really care what they have. The Chapo book is basically just going to be a comprehensive guide to America's current political system. It's going to make fun of the asshole libs and the shithead conservatives and the failed capitalist consensus and the need for change. Hopefully with a lot of... Like, that's the point of what Kahina and Greaves do. It's not about changing the world. It is about presenting themselves to other people as spectacular examples of virtue. And that requires them to be separate from one another. So they'll never be able to make any kind of long-term common cause with one another, because then they're just part of that group. They have to break away. They have to break away at all times. Fuck. You guys hear me? Did I fuck up? I can never fucking tell with this thing. Alright, the sound is gone. I'm sorry. Time to die. I turned the thing on, it's not working. Alright. I'm good? I got sound? Okay. Everyone's good? Everyone can hear me? This fucking phone is piping hot. I got it plugged in and it's just burning in my hand. A rig? What does that mean? What kind of rig? You. Oh, yeah. Fuck, I gotta plug this in too. God damn it. I have a fucking Chromebook. I gotta buy a new computer this weekend. But I don't have any stuff. My shit sucks. I don't vape. If I had weed, I would vape, because it's way better than smoking actual marijuana, but as it stands, I don't have anything. I can sing, fuck off. I'll sing if I want to. It's my fucking Periscope. 72%. No. 72%. No. Is this true? Somebody just said 72% of voters age 18 to 24 voted today. Is that accurate? Because that's the dream. That is the thesis behind it all. The idea that young people are not going to want to just accept a world of shit. And that if you offer them the alternative to the shit world that they've been given by their fucking lazy, defeated parents, they will rebel. And they will take the alternative. Oh my God. Because those are the people who don't vote everywhere. Those are the people who don't vote everywhere, especially here. Oh my God. It's a light. It's a light in the darkness. It is a fucking... It's something, man. I guess that's all I can say. It's fucking something. The idea that people brought up... It's because... I've talked about it when I was all bummed out. I talked about how there was this there was this sort of awful feedback loop where cosmopolitanism had been totally linked with neoliberal hell. That if you wanted that for most people in advanced, first world, whatever, quote unquote countries, to embrace multiculturalism was to embrace capitalism. They were inextricably linked, and that is what alienated so many people from liberalism writ large. Was the idea that, okay, you're basically supposed to care more about other people's well-being than the well-being of you and your family members. And of course, the way to break through that is to say, no, we're all in this together. We're all workers. We're all people who are commonly toiling for the betterment of all, and that if we come together and coordinate our efforts, we can spread prosperity across that group. And that had never really been presented. Socialism in previous generations had sort of either explicitly or implicitly been coded along racial and sort of tribal lines. And what we see now is that we see a generation of kids who've grown up in a multicultural world, who take multiculturalism and anti-racism for granted, but who are now discovering that they don't want the neoliberal hell that has always been inextricably linked with multiculturalism. And they say, no, I want the multiculturalism, but I want it with a social consciousness that transcends that, and that takes the product of the economy and spreads it as evenly as possible. It takes the implication, the implied reality of multiculturalism that is turned into just a mascot and a meaningless slogan in neoliberalism, and says, take it seriously. Take a world seriously where everybody has a chance. Take it seriously. What does it mean to have a world where everybody can succeed? Is that a slogan? Is that bullshit? Is that an excuse for a fucking app or for charter schools? Or is that a genuine call to arms to reappropriate ill-gotten fucking wealth? And what we're seeing now is that maybe that's the case. Maybe we now... Oh, God. Wow. We got a lot of work to do, fam, but it's possible. It's fucking... Yes, that's a good choice. It's fucking possible is the difference. It's fucking possible. It's not outside the fucking realm. It's not a fantasy. We have not been totally separated from ourselves by these baffles of culture and fantasy and spectacle and tribalism. We can break through those things. We can do it. If the Tories had won big tonight, I would have been playing a Dead Kennedy song, but it would have been Kill the Poor. That's such a landlord, man. Ah, fuck. Amber Rudd won. God damn it. We can't have nice things. Next time. Next time. She's done. Next time. All right, anybody got a song? People want to hear The Boys Are Back in Town, but I don't like that song. Is there a good Thin Lizzy song? Because I honestly don't like that one or Jailbreak. Hashtag. Chumbawamba, that would be a good one. I hate Thin Lizzy's version of Whiskey in a Jar. God damn it. You guys, these are... I just don't think I like Thin Lizzy. Hashtag. I just think I don't like it. Tub thumping I'm going to do, but give me a minute. I had one, and now I can't think of what it was. It was a good one. No, I got it. Whiskey in a Jar is only a good song in its like in the folk version. Like whoa, it's whiskey in a jar. When they get us all like drawn out, it's kind of sucky. I don't like it. I'll tell you right now. I don't like it. Sex Pistols were frauds. Come on, why would I want to play that bullshit? And let's not forget, dude, that our buddy, our fucking punk buddy John Lydon just endorsed Theresa May. Jog on, you fucking twat. Here we go, guys. One of my favorite... I mean, this might be workerist. This might be considered a workerist anthem, but I love it nonetheless. The canals and the bridges, the embankments and cuts, they blasted and done with their sweat and their guts. They never drank water but whiskey by pints, and the shanty towns rang with their songs and their fights. Navigator, navigator, rise up and be strong. The morning is here and there's work to be done. Take your pick and your shovel and them old dynamite. Bear the shift a few tons of this earthly delight. Where to shift a few tons of this. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Somebody says my mic is covered. I tried to uncover it. There are hundreds with no sign to mark where. And the brass in the pocket of the entrepreneur. By landslide and rock blast, they got buried so deep. I haven't seen all the Cronenbergs. Death, if not life, they'll have peace while they sleep. I really like The Brood. The Brood is good. History of Violence, too. The morning is here and there's work to be done. Take your pick and your shovel and your old dynamite. We're to shift a few tons of this earth. Leading light. You know what? The thing that kind of reassures me about Pence is that he's not a Cheney. He's not like an Eminence Grease. He's not this genius behind the scenes. He's almost as stupid as Trump. He might be stupider than Trump. He had a reputation when he was in the House as like the dumbest member of the Republican caucus, which during the Bush administration, that's incredibly dumb. So the idea that he was going to be able to like wield power behind the scenes is he's a total oaf. And he would get owned by basically everybody. You know, it's like people think he's smart because they compare him to Trump, but his brain is dying. On the way for a commerce, our last fortunes were made. Tennessee Ernie Banks, 15 tons, great song. Where a sun never sets, which is now deep in darkness, but the railway's there yet. Navigator, navigator, rise up and be strong. The morning is here and there's work to be done. I've got pick and your shovel and the wild dynamite. Sorry folks, just had to take a second to own Ross Douthat because he's a piece of shit. I mean, the thing that you need from anarchism is basically responsiveness at the local level. You can't have the kind of bureaucratic hell that you had in the Soviet Union. You need something where like local concerns are dealt with in a non-hierarchical fashion, and that's where anarchism has the most salience. So you need some sort of, but you also can't allow the commanding heights of production to be just sort of left to the whims of the market, because that just reinscribes the tyranny of capitalism all over again. So, like I said, you need the best of both. But you can't, yeah. So there you go, yeah. All right, I'm going to play a song here that we all love and know from the 90s. The music we love to know and the music we know to love. You give him whiskey drink, he drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the best times, he sings the songs that remind him of the good times. Think where you were in your head in November of last year. Think of where you were in early November of 2016 and how hopeless the world felt. How you felt like we were trapped in a nightmare where we were all going to die screaming at the hands of a bunch of scared, hateful old people. And now think of where you are right now. It's not a lot of time by any stretch, even by the mere metrics of human life. It's not a lot of time. Think about it. The absolute boy. The absolute boy. Seriously, let's watch Boris Johnson dick around and like stumble around Europe with his dick out of his stupid fucking trousers, trying to do a Brexit negotiation for 6 months until whatever, like fucking Ian Paisley psychopath and fucking East Belfast decides that they don't want to play ball anymore. People have been saying, people have been asking for Killer Michael. I'm not a big rap guy. I'm not a big hip hop fan. I haven't been listening to Killer Michael. I don't really know what his tunes sound like, but there's a song he does with Run the Jewels that I like a lot. I'm going to play that right now.
Run them jewels fast, run them jewels fast, run them fucking slow-mo. Fashion slave, protected to get in a fucking lookbook. Everything I scribbles like an anarchist cookbook. Look good, posing in the center for the cookbook. Black on black, with the ski mask, that is my cookbook. How you like my styling, bro? Ain't nobody styling, bro. About to turn this motherfucker up like Rikers Island, bro. My brothers and my cripples and my brothers and my brothers. When you niggas don't, you
They're saying now that the estimate is that Tories beat Labour by 1% in popular vote. They were down 25 points in April when that fucking nitwit, that fucking born to rule dipshit, that ridiculous crone, Theresa May, decided to fucking call an election and secure her majority. 1% of the popular vote. The biggest jump in support for a political party in modern English British history. YouGov, baby. Don't fuck with YouGov. They're the Bill Mitchell of England, basically. Boris Johnson versus Jezza in a fucking rematch in 6 months or a year? Bring it the fuck on. That fucking oaf, that fucking fat dipshit with his fucking blonde wig. Let's watch that posh, inbred moron stumble around with his dick caught in a choir boy. Let's see him take on fucking the absolute boy, Jeremy Corbyn. Let's see that shit. Bring it the fuck on. My solitary condition preventing conjugal visits. Domain and missing my misses. They keeping me from my chilling conditions. Creative feeling. The feeling
giving vision. The vision becomes a battle. See vengeance on all the vicious liars and politicians. Profiteers of the prisons. The forehead engravers and slavers of men and women, including members of clergy that rule on you through religion. So slip a kiss to the nude and then tell them God will forgive him.
Oh, Boris would get killed. He is less appealing than Theresa May. That's why he didn't. That's why he had the fucking premiership handed to him in a fucking. He was supposed to be the guy. After Brexit went through, he was the natural choice, and he couldn't even outmaneuver his own weird, half-stunted quado bitch in the form of Michael Gove. And he's gonna fucking beat fucking Corbyn on even footing? No way. Fuck that. He's done for. Who's the absolute boy? Mate, Jeremy bloody Corbyn is the absolute bloody boy, mate.
Quicker than our caskets be the factory.
All right, I've actually never listened to that Reagan song by Killer Michael, so I'm going to play that now. But I'm going to need another recommendation after that.
Our government has a firm policy not to capitulate to terrorist demands, that no concessions policy remains in force. In spite of the wildly speculated and false stories about arms for hostages and alleged ransom payments, we did not trade weapons or anything else for hostages. Nor will we.
The method of the bullet, some freedom or some bullshit. Will we ever do it big or just keep settling full of shit? We brag on having bread, but none of us are bakers. We all talk having greens, but none of us on acres. And none of us on acres, and none of us on wheat.
If I'm going to play an Immortal Technique song, I think it would probably be there's one I like. I can't remember the name of it, but it would be a different one. It's the super conspiracy one about like Paul Wellstone getting murdered by the GOP or whatever.
A few months ago, I told the American people I did not trade arms for hostages. My heart and my best intentions still tell me that's true, but the facts and the evidence tell me it is not.
The end of the Reagan era, I'm like Lemma 12er, old enough to understand the shit had changed forever. They declared the war on drugs, like a war on terror. What it really did was let the police terrorize whoever, but mostly black boys, but they would call us niggas, and lay us on our belly while they fingers on their triggers. They boots was on our head, they dogs was on our crotches, and they would beat us up if we had diamonds on our watches, and they would take our drugs and monies as they pick our pockets. I guess that's the privilege of policing for some profits. But thanks to Reaganomics, prison turned to profits. Cause free labor's the cornerstone of U.S. economics. Cause slavery was abolished unless you are.
It doesn't have to be Boris Johnson, but he's foreign secretary, which is sort of the equivalent of Secretary of State. So he is very high in the thing. He was the leading pro-Brexit Tory MP during the Brexit referendum. He was supposed to be the guy after Cameron left. but he basically, his protege, this like half-gnome bitch named Michael Gove, essentially stabbed him in the back, and because he's heart-pumped Kool-Aid, he fucking bitched out and quit. And then it was basically just left to everybody else who was in the cabinet, and Theresa May, who was Home Secretary, just sort of was the last person standing. It's not like she had any kind of like LBJ Machiavellian move to power. Maybe she did behind the scenes that nobody knows about, but I don't know. But, I mean, Johnson seems like the obvious pick. I don't know who the fuck else it would be. Whoever it's going to be some toffee-nosed, six-toed pony fucker who Corbyn will eat and spit out because he does not eat meat. Chew and spit out, I should say. Oh my God, Calexico, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I think I might have said something about this, but yes, I love this song. And I want to play it now. Thank you for reminding me. It's Sotero, not Calexico. Why did I think it was that? It's well conceived in theory, but it doesn't work in life.
Comrade has to wonder, is it ever worth the effort? Well, I don't know, but I've been told not to hang on to my hope.
I told you this. Yes, you can enjoy it. The spectacle surrounds us and penetrates. It's like the Force. The spectacle is like the Force in Star Trek. It binds us. It penetrates us. It can't be transcended. And the attempt to transcend it is where you get idiots like Wally Klein and Phil Greaves who think that they've like seen through the Matrix. It's absurd, and it's childish, and it's a fantasy. Accepting the spectacle on its own terms, and interacting with it in a way that you find spiritually replenishing, but maintaining the capacity for critique, that is the key. That's the key. Zuckerberg. Man, if they get Corbyn and we get Zuckerberg, I mean, the United States, retire, bitch. Seriously. Self-awareness, exactly. You know, just don't get hypnotized by Narcissus's reflection. Hedgehog. What? Oh, you fuckers, you're having a laugh. You're pulling my chain. Hegemony. Correctly pronounced. Fuck to you. Crooked fifth from Moscow will not be turned away. This is our land, I will cross it holding your hand. To the crooked streets of Petersburg, we are all the same. So if you're ever less than certain about the world, please don't let the worry get this way into your work. And if you would stick up for me in the face of great adversity, know that I would do the same, know that I'm the same. And if you would stick up for me, speak highly and poetically, you can be my personal ambassador to the world. And if you're ever less than certain, I will be your Iron Curtain, and I will be your Berlin Wall, and I will never fall. It's a good song. Ross Dowdett is crying because his girlfriend, Theresa May, got owned. He's whining like the simpering, half-bearded toad that he is. The old gave us Trump. The young are trying to give us Corbyn. Time to restrict the franchise to parents of under 18-year-old kids. How about we fucking put you in a barrel and roll you down a hill? How's that for a fucking idea, you fucking tubby shithead? How's that? I got an idea. That's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. I think America would be united behind that fucking policy. You fucking worthless shithead. I really hate Ross. A lot of people don't hate him. I hate him. I hate him deeply. I hate them all. I really do. I hate the tradcasts. My hate is pure in the Alexander Coburn sense. I really do hate them all. I can't not hate them. Like, I look at them, I read them, and I don't feel like that kind of like, oh, this guy's funny because he's stupid. I want them, I hate him. Maybe that's bad. Maybe I shouldn't hate him. Maybe that proves that there's some sort of dark heart within me, you know. I'm like Lenin, you know, give me control of the state, and I'm going to start doing purges and, you know, creating the fucking checkup. But I don't think that's true. I think these people do genuine harm to the world, and me wanting to kill them, or at least see them deeply humiliated, is me standing up for humanity. I think. I hope. I mean, we should all have a chance, you know. People suck, but the people, we all deserve a chance to suck. We all deserve a chance. Because we get pulled out of we get pulled out of nothing. We get pulled out of the ether into consciousness that we did not ask for and that is not under our control. We are given facilities and abilities that are also not within our control. And then we are set loose in a world where we are going to have a very brief, finite amount of time to love and be loved and to experience and to think and to exist before that's snuffed out. And that is something that every single one of us shares. That is a unifying human experience. That's all we have. We have this brief moment where we are called out of nothingness for a fucking microsecond in the span of existence. We're called into being. Without our consent, we're given abilities that we don't have any fucking choice over. And we're all unified by that. And since we all share that, can't we make it a fucking world where everybody who is essentially, I don't want to get too Schopenhauer-y, but, you know, cursed with that burden of consciousness can at least experience as much richness and love and safety and security as anybody else? Like, how can you look at someone who didn't choose to be born, who did not choose their abilities and facilities in this world, and say, you deserve nothing but pain and torment until a horrible death? And I deserve everything. I deserve riches, and I deserve greatness, and I deserve comfort for things that I similarly had no choice in, had no influence in. I'm a winner of a genetic lottery, and as a result of that, I should have everything, and you should have nothing. And the difference between us is the flip of a fucking coin. That is a monstrousness that I can't abide. I can't. To think that there are people in this world who accept that and think that's how it should be. That you should condemn people in millions and billions to torment and agony and death and fear and loneliness because you need to have everything. Because you were born with everything. The vile maxim. The vile maxim. Adam Smith's vile fucking maxim. And it's hard to confront because it is so monstrous and so evil. But it's something that your neighbors believe, that your parents believe, that your loved ones believe. It's something that people accept as just the way it is. That is what life is. It is you're shot out of oblivion into consciousness, and you will either be cursed or blessed based on the whim of genes and geography. And that is that. And the people who say that that is that are, of course, the people who achieved the extraordinary beneficence of luck, and then decide that they're going to ascribe that into the universe and turn that into an unmutable truth. But it can't be like that. It doesn't have to. We have it in our power to make it different. And maybe we won't. Maybe we'll keep burning carbon and killing each other until we all just cook in our own fucking juices. Or maybe we'll break outside of our bubbles of fear and distrust to accept common humanity and embrace the burden of that, but also the absolute liberation, the liberation from fear, the liberation, because like those alt-right cocksuckers who want to live in a world of racial holy war, like the world that they imagine is a nightmare realm where you can never be safe, you can never feel secure, you can never feel love because you're under constant siege. It's a nightmare. But a world of solidarity, a world where every life that is brought into being without its consent, given facilities and abilities without their choice, can live surrounded by safety and love instead of misery. That's a world we can have. All right, guys. I'm going to go. I'm going to have a few more drinks. I'm going to look at some more returns. Hopefully things keep going well. Hopefully the absolute boy keeps being the absolute boy. But we all know that he can be. Night, everybody.